Now, a mother of 19-year-old Victor Owusu killed in Tuesday's clash between police and the youth of Nkoranza wants justice. Victor was a final year student of the Nkoranza Technical Institute. He was shot in the head when the youth went on rampage protesting alleged killing of Albert Akwesi Donko. Ohemin Teria was at a Dumkrom family house of the deceased and has sent this report.
Market day. Timi kono pa na mama me ban sika kwajo na ko school o se mama me ko ti mama frɛ kire e ko dwam me wodwam wa na me te se me ban abasifa pare tu amago me ba
So, Benny, this is Madam Yakwa, and she's giving me background to what led to her son being shot in that process. The unfortunate story is that this is the only son or child she has, and she tells me yesterday in the morning, whilst leaving for the market, she actually gave money to the gentleman to go to school. So she didn't hear anything from her child until in the afternoon when she received call from the market that her son has been shot. So she's very, she's in pain. Mami misa, say you can't Victor Owusu ya. Ombana on cry or to say. Enti mpacho wadaroma ma tobo ase na aha enti no a wote se etu aka no de na we
babu bari sa mitimi banti banko minua na di machi ko okwa ampaso okwa he amaro me ba babori tuo beliguriti
Ebe twato nkomo be kra ne na one ba ni di e ansakra nkomo be kra ne twato one ne di e
e ka jere se wajo mi kwatwa enti ko school sama me ko dodo ati ale se me ba ya fribu
So the only opportunity she had was yesterday when she told the son to go to school after giving him money, and then she left for the market. It was later in the day that she received the painful news, and she couldn't withstand it. So it took the brother to go to the hospital to confirm the story that indeed the 19-year-old Victor Owusu has been shot in the head. And she believes that the only child of her has been killed without any cause. And she tells me, Mommy, what's it I can say?
3 months
So according to the mother, the child or the late Victor Owusu would have written the WASI in the next 3 months, so he completes his course at the Nkoranza Technical Institute. But now he's no more. Let me find out from her again. I will say, me who say, "Facha me say me who are home now." So yedeni say kasa kakra. Say asemo aba di pa na wo hwehwe say besi e wo Victor ni we ho.
Asam tren me pe. Apoti fo di mawo. O ma di mawo.
Na oti e no na oba no ka wo mo ye kire no ho ana se na won ka ho.
Dabio na me mo jamu dabio
A high police delegation from the IGP are expected in Nkoranza for further engagements with community leaders. Member of the Defense and Interior Committee in Parliament, Jensa Galga, has joined us now for more on this development. Mr. Galga, I'm grateful for your time. I remember when the incident of the one that happened recently with the social media activist Ibrahim Kaka, you made a lot of you warned us that if we do not handle this with care, we will see recurrence. Today we are seeing this in Nkoranza. I mean, how does this come across to you?
Well, Asha, what is happening in Nkoranza is very, very unfortunate. Coming on the heels of what happened at the Jura, as you rightly pointed out, and even given the fact that about 2 months ago, Randolph Jima Ansa, he was a constable, and Lance Corporal Stephen Kweku Nyame, police officers implicated in the bullion van robberies, were apprehended by the police. And whilst in police custody, they were supposedly sent to assist the police to apprehend members of their cohort. In the process, the police told us that there was exchange of gunfire, and these 2 police officers died in the process. Now, Asha, what is happening at Nkoranza is a very similar story. And the story of the police is not any different. This time around, they are saying that an armed robbery suspect, one Alex Donko, was arrested by they themselves, sent to police custody. The next moment, Alex Donko is reported dead. This is what sparked the riots in Nkoranza, which resulted in the shooting to death of yet another individual, a 19-year-old boy. Asha, the questions that we need to ask is, what type of policing are we seeing today? Is it the case that the police is now involved in extrajudicial killings? Because suspects in the custody of the police are supposed to be treated in a certain way. These stories are becoming one too many to believe. I mean, for the police to tell the public that suspects in their custody continue to die in their own attempt to apprehend more suspects. You send a suspect who is already in your custody to a crime scene, and in the process, you come back and tell us that the person has been killed. There are suspicions that these are extrajudicial killings, and something needs to be done. Look, Aisha, in the case of Constable Randolph Jima Ansa and Lance Corporal Stephen Kweku Nyame, we filed a motion in Parliament so that a bipartisan committee would be constituted to look into the matter. As I speak to you, that motion is pending. Whilst the motion is pending, yet another similar incident has happened. What do we do in the circumstances, Aisha? I think that another motion would have to be filed, and the previous one that was filed and is pending, if admitted by the Speaker, would have to be consolidated so that the two are dealt with together. But having said that, Aisha, we recently had the Jura incident, and a committee of inquiry was set up by the Minister for the Interior, the Justice Kumsim Committee. The Justice Kumsim Committee came out with its recommendations. Some of them were far-reaching. Then I also recall the Ayawaso West Wagon Commission of Inquiry made far-reaching recommendations, and some of them had to do with riot control. Why are our police officers continuing to use excessive force, to use live ammunition in crowd control? Asha, this for me is something that I just can't come to terms with. Look at the 19-year-old boy who was shot. He was shot right in the forehead. Aisha, right in the forehead. And so you ask yourself, what type of crowd control systems did the police put in place to deal with the crowd, which was agitated as a result of the killing of Alex Donko? These are matters that should engage the attention of all, and we would not leave any stone unturned. Like I said, a further motion is going to be filed, and if needs be, it will be consolidated with the previous one, which is already pending, so that these matters are properly interrogated, and at least the type of policing we're seeing these days, there ought to be a change. It is unacceptable for suspects in the custody of the police to be killed in the manner.
James Agalga is he's a ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, and he says that we've not learned our lessons from what happened in Nigeria. Mr. Agalga, if you're back, just a quick one for me. What could be accounting for the recent incidents of alleged police involvement in criminal activities?
Well, it's not something that is far-fetched. I have a time with a number complaint that the way and manner people are recruited into the security services leaves much to be desired. Now, because the recruitment procedures are not transparent, we end up having in the midst of the security agencies miscreants. And so once you have miscreants in the midst of the security agencies, then you are bound to have challenges with the fight against crime. Look at the officers who were implicated in the bullion van robberies, but unfortunately lost their lives. Police officers themselves. Now, even in the Nkoranza incident, going by what we are hearing from relatives of the deceased, it appears that the suspect must have said something which, in one way or the other, implicated some police officers. I mean, if this story is anything to go by, it means that we need to do a lot, with respect to the type of personnel we recruit into our security agencies. Maybe, Aisha, it is time to purge the services of such miscreants. Not until we do that, the fight against crime is bleak.
I'm grateful for your time. James Agalga is the ranking member on the Defense and Interior Committee.